Shadiversity.
Greetings, I'm Shad, and I've been having a lot of fun in Conan Exiles. And one of the things that I love doing in Conan Exiles is building awesome castles. And I've shared some screenshots with my viewers on various social media platforms, and there's been a lot of requests for me to give a big tour of my main castle base that I'm currently playing in and that I've built, and I'm more than happy to please in that regard. So this is the position of my clan's main base castle. And as you can kind of tell, it's in a pretty cool location on this big pillar. And, you know, as to how feasible it would be to build a real castle on such a pillar like that, I guess it depends on how stable it is. Might be a little bit unbalanced, but hey, this is a video game and it's fantasy, so I can do a bit more of a fantasy kind of castle. Now, as to the overall design, you can clearly tell that I've been inspired by the classic Norman keep, which is the iconic square-styled keep with 4 big corner towers. And then I've added additional extensions on each side to give us a little bit more room. What you'll see at the bottom of the castle are spiked barriers. This prevents people from climbing all the way up, because one of the weaknesses on castles in Conan Exiles is people climbing onto your roof where there's a flat platform, and that then enables them to put down explosives on the roof and explode into the base. So this base is pretty secure, okay? It's actually a really good, protected base, but it's not invulnerable, all right? I could raid this base if I wanted to, and it would take time, but absolutely you could force yourself into this base and loot it. So there's a couple of redundancies that we put in place, but one of the best protections against raiding on this server in particular is because it's a no offline raiding server. So if anyone tries to raid us here, well, at least one of us is going to be online and we'll be able to defend our base properly. And that has been so much fun. Me and my clan have already done a couple of raids against other players who have been online, and the PvP has just been awesome. So if you're game, you can absolutely come and try and raid this castle. Like I said, I have posted the direct connection IP in the description below, but forewarning, anyone who does attack us, even one of our outposts, we consider that provocation and we retaliate very aggressively. And so if we just go to the series of elevators, you can see a bit more of the location we have for our main castle here. And so this is a pretty cool approach right here that Oz has made, with these awesome statues to our map room down below. But when you even look at the castle up there, the castle looks up like it's really high up, but where we're at right now is still at a very high elevation, okay? This is a castle built in the sky. It's pretty cool. And if you're wondering what this map is, it's not a map room, but it's we call it a map room because, that's just kind of the name. But it lets you teleport. This is the fast travel elements of Conan. All these pillars let you teleport to different parts on the map, because this is the whole Conan kind of map here. So I'll show a little bit more about this lower kind of barrier stopgap before people can try and get even further up to the castle. But it's better to show you this from all the way at the bottom of the mountain. And as you can also see, we've built right along next to the volcano. So there's a big volcano here in Conan Exiles. You can see on the map, this is where it's located, right here on the map. And it's the highest part in Conan Exiles. Now, I've never built a base on this elevation, because this is so high up, yet it's not as high as you can go. So maybe in the future I'll put a castle on top of one of those other pillars. But the issue is getting to it, all right? To get to this castle here, well, let me show you how many elevators is required to just get to here. And that would usually be a nightmare, because elevators in this game travel really slowly. But luckily, I'm on a private server, and the elevators have an increased speed mod, which has made actually building a castle on such a high plateau like this, or it's not a plateau, but high peak, actually plausible and possible to pull off. Otherwise, I mean, you could do it, but it'll just take so long to get into the base and just to leave that it becomes implausible in that regard, because you actually want to play the game and you don't want to play a elevator traveling simulator. To give you an idea of just how high up we have built, well, this is a shot from nearly at the bottom of the mountain, not the full bottom, but that is up there. That's the castle right up there, and it actually requires 5 elevators to get to the top. And so I've fallen down because I wasn't watching where I was going, but I guess that is advantageous, because I'll now show you, this is the bottom of the mountain right here, to show you how many elevators it goes up. And we are blessed this day. We have our patron kind of god that we worship in this game, the great and mighty Bloch! Most powerful god in Conan Exiles. The great and mighty Bloch. How is it powerful? Well, as you see, its power is great. It phases through the world and appears regularly to bless us. And so, first elevator, right here. I'm really showing everyone where our base is. I mean, it's not exactly hidden, but it is in a secluded location. But now everyone will know where it is. But not everyone will be able to get access to it. There are many redundancies and protections for this base, which I will show you a bit later on. And so it's unloaded. It's so high up that the base at the top of that peak right there, it disappears because we are out of range for the base to even render in. And so the first barrier is you won't even be able to get to the first elevator, because the first elevator effect, you can climb that little ledge there, but still, this is a stopgap. If we're getting attacked and we're getting chased and everything, if you just have an elevator standing out in the open, well, people can just pull the elevator back down with this lever here, and you won't be able to get up. And so this is just so you can quickly jump inside. They can't follow you. They can climb up the side of the mountain and jump in through the hole at the top, but before they do that, you're already at the top. And thank goodness for this mod. See this elevator speed mod? Oh, it'd be such a pain, because that's technically the second elevator right there. And then it's still going. I had a viewing platform that I built just off the side there to take some screenshots of the front. You know, I'll put them up on screen here. But it was ruining the aesthetic, the look of the base from a distance, so I got rid of it. So this is the next elevator. So this is technically the third one. And so here, this is where it starts to become difficult, because the door will be closed to anyone, and they can try and climb around, but then the spike barriers to prevent them from climbing up onto this platform here. They could climb up over the side, but they might be running out of stamina by this point in time. And so then we get to the fourth elevator. The fourth elevator, look how high it is. This is, again, this elevator built to the maximum height that elevators can be placed. This is why you need several. You just can't have one, because elevators actually have a height limit that they can be placed down on, and it's like 32 foundations high. And so all these ones are built to the max. And so now we come to one of the first major defensive barriers of the castle, and it's this spike barrier here that wraps around the mountain. This is to prevent climbing, okay? Because there are ways people can do a climbing build and have their stamina last a lot longer to climb over a much greater distance, and so they might actually be able to climb all the way up here. But these spike barriers, they damage people as soon as they come close to them while climbing, and if you take damage, you lose your grip and you fall, and presumably you will fall to your death if you try and climb over these barriers here, because look how high up we are. We're already so high that you can't even see the ground, and we're not even as high as where the base is. And so these spike barriers, they wrap around the mountain on all sides. Oh, by the way, check out these guys. See these guys? Yeah, there's some. We have them as thralls. They're really hard to find. These guys are really rare, and so these are our big hitters right here. Giants. We have giant thrall guard servants, and they're guarding this place. And then if they do finally get over, well, we do have guards protecting this barrier as well, and have to fight through the thralls. And this is also the strategy that we've used on this other side, because look at this massive lava flow that goes all the way up to the top. And indeed, yeah, you're not going to be climbing over that, are ya? So just getting to this barrier alone is going to be really difficult for anyone trying to raid our base. So technically this is the fifth and final elevator to actually bring us to the front door of our base. And as I mentioned before, these elevators, I've built them to their maximum distance. So and look at, yeah, so the elevators, as we've already seen, travel so much faster thanks to this mod. And then we come here. Now, this is also another defensive element that I've built here, because anyone can actually use an elevator, okay? You can't lock their handle right here, so anyone who presses the handle can come up. But if they come up here, they'll get trapped inside. And so one of the things they could do, and I've actually done this myself, is use the elevator just before it reaches the top. So see how right underneath there? Just before it reaches the top, people jump off. and they can climb. They can grab onto the roof underneath that platform to try and climb over onto the base. So see that there? They can jump off and grab onto the roof there, but I've put spike barriers there to prevent that, so they have no place to climb to. And in here, the door is locked, so anyone not in the clan can't open it, and they're trapped. Or they just have to take the elevator down, so there's no other option. They could put explosives down to try and blow through the elevator, but this is the next thing that I've done to prevent that. You open the door. These are tier 1 ceiling blocks, or, floor blocks. And so it'll actually destroy these floor blocks before they destroy the tier 3 door box here. And so these barriers here will be destroyed, which will destroy the elevator, and they won't have any access to get to the base from that position at all. And there's spike barriers covering and going around the whole area here, so they wouldn't be able to climb past it. So again, a very difficult base to raid into. Not impossible, like I said. How would you raid it, get into this base in this game? Oh, I'm not telling you. I don't want to reveal the weaknesses of this awesome base here, but take a look at it. And, it just looks very cool. This is one of the more fun features of Conan, building this awesome base. And people, when you play, Conan stuff, take pride in your base, all right? And I'll show you what I mean about taking pride in your base, because this is where you hang out the most. So have a look at this. Big staircase approach right here. And then as you open it, we enter into the first room of this epic castle, and it is a throne room right here. Have a look at this with the vaulted ceilings. We've got balconies overlooking this kind of court area where the lords and kings of this castle hold court and have people come to either submit to them or offer them presents and things like that. And so it's pretty awesome. And all of the clanmates have done, contributed in decorating, like these awesome statues here underneath these vaulted ceilings. That was Oz's idea, editor. Say hi, Oz. He's editing this video in the background. And so just really cool embellishments. And what's great about Conan Exiles, right, is that you have the freedom to build a castle, a base, to such detail that it feels like, this is game developer built kind of single-player RPG game. This is one of the environments that was attached to the original game, because you could do so much detail. So have a look at these side rooms that we've had. So this is the main communal kind of celebration area where feasts are held and things like that. And so we've got the main dining room right here with the banners hanging on the side, and the other room are across here. This is kind of like the lounge. And look, this is Oz's character. He just logs off, just lying around everywhere, you slob. You have a room for a reason. I'm half tempted to kill him. What stuff does he have on him? So he would be so annoyed if I killed him. I'm tempted. Oh, by the way, check out this sword. Best single-handed sword in the game. And when I say best, I'll just show you. See that? 102 damage. Most single-handed swords only do 50 damage. This is crazy stuff, right? We are certainly, playing this game on the highest level at the moment. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, so the lounge area where people just kind of hang out, have a drink and stuff. But if they really want to drink, well, they can go upstairs to the bar. We've got a bar here with heaps of wine and beer and everything all stored. And then you can just kind of watch the party down below, watch everyone sitting on their throne, and just for the look, just sit right here. Yeah. And so if you go upstairs on this other side, well, this is, another kind of it's not a bar. It's where people can just sit, have a drink and everything, where the less, noble people can come. This is like just where the lower class can have their drinks, while the upper class are either sitting on their thrones or in the proper dining room there. And so, yes, this is the main hall, but well, there's a lot more to this castle. Let me show you what else we got here. So, of course, we got the guards, and when I say we got the guards, like, if you see this, if you play the game, you all might know what this armor is, but it's the most difficult armor to craft in the game. It's called the Godbreaker armor. Let me just double check. Yeah, the Godbreaker armor, and it is crazy. So this guy has 1,100 health and is a named Thrall fighter. And so this is the other thing. If you do manage to break into one of the parts of this castle, well, we have some of the toughest Thralls. When I say toughest Thralls, like crazy strong. Okay, so we've got a named archer there. We've got another named fighter here. This named fighter, as tough as my character is, I got some of the best equipment in the game. Not the best because, I mean, look at this outfit. It looks awesome, alright? So it's a gambeson! A character wearing a gambeson, people! And you might be thinking the mask is weird. The helmets are all... I don't like the helmets in the game. And the physics effects on the hair looks awesome. Like, check out this ponytail. Doesn't like look great? And when you wear a helmet, it makes your hair disappear. And I don't like that. So this is one of the few helmets that gives me the right encumbrance bonus that doesn't make your hair disappear and make your character look weird. And so, you know, dyeing it all black, it works. It's all part of the kind of look. This somewhat splice kind of Asian, slightly, it's like Eastern European medieval kind of gambeson stuff. It's more Asian, but it still looks pretty cool, and it still passes for the Conan aesthetic. It all fits really well. But even with all this equipment I'm wearing, right, this guy here, this Flesh Terror, he can one-shot me. If he does a heavy attack one-shot, this Thrall, it'll kill me in one shot. And so Thralls are the new meta, the current meta in Conan Exiles. If you really want to win this game, you get the best Thralls. Whenever you go out to PvP, you take a Thrall that's, you know, proper equipped, and it's so much fun. I had this player try and attack me the other day. He thought he was spec'd for PvP. I'm spec'd for encumbrance, right? So see this, but I do have some PvP elements here. And he thought he would take advantage of me because I was building out in, you know, the boonies where I wasn't defended, didn't have anything. And he thought he would attack me, take all my cool gear and equipment. But I had my Thrall with me. And I just put up my shield. Look at this cool kite shield right here. Let's take a look at that. So, awesome kite shield, as you would expect. And just put up a defense while he was attacking me. My Thrall just came in and one-shot the guy. Instant death. And he was trying to do such a troll PvP build because he was using... there's a certain, like, more exploitative PvP builds you can do. And one of the toughest PvP weapons is, of course, the spear. And then he had light armor so he could roll everywhere. And he thought it was already good to take me on. And then dead. Because... spears, they can't deal with shields. Shields are awesome. So anyway, sorry for getting distracted, but yes, this is a very cool throne room, and let's go into the rest of the castle, show you the rest. But behind here we have a bit of a fire pit where you can put on a spit roast, and then further behind is the main kitchen. And so of course we've got a named cook right here, who cook all the fancy meals. And so, you know, oh, honey jerky. Do we have any honey jerky? I know I made some before. Did someone take all my honey jerky? Gosh, guys, where'd you... Anyway, we got other food. Someone took all my honey jerky. So, again, door. These doors won't open to anyone trying to break in, and so they'd have to explode, get through, burn out these doors, which is very time-consuming, and all the while they'd be getting attacked by these thralls and such. And so, And so now, let's head up to the next section of the castle. So this is an important section right here. If we open the door, this is the main crafting section of our castle. Okay, so we've got all our main thralls around, and this is where all the main stuff happens. This is where we're making everything. So if we go back here, I'll just shut that door. This is the artisan room, okay, so this is where we can make all those cool decorations that we decorate the castle with. And then we've got our improved carpentry benches with the thralls working on there. We've also got our thrall guards there, the tannery here. This is kind of like where our taskmaster is, and still no honey jerky in there. And if we go across here, we got our blacksmiths working away, you know, all the stuff, and of course a lot of loot in these you know, chests and everything. And these are mainly crafting materials. This is our kind of a big you know, chest room here. And so, oh yeah, all our backup here. Here, flawless, you know, tier 4 armor. Some more here. What do we have here? Some more flawless. I think do we have some backup Godbreaker armor? Or do we, like, if we're smart, and I think we'll just put it on all our thralls. But a lot of ammunition. This isn't even everything, but of course, big tough thrall on guard duty right here inside one of the main treasury rooms. And look at these. I love the vaulted ceilings. Oh, someone sent me a message. There's a request for me to make a video of me raiding one of the admin bases. Challenge accepted, sir! I've been wanting to actually make a raid video, because raiding PvP is fun. Will you guys enjoy that? I think it'd be fun. Got a decent amount of views on my last big raid video, and that was just so much fun as well. So, alright, might just do that. Thank you, King Without a Kingdom. We're going to be raiding you too, buddy. So, of course, our alchemists and our armorers and all that stuff, and here are our smelters and everything. And see, this is what I mean about taking pride in your base, okay? It just makes the game more fun, more immersive. And again, this looks like an environment made for a single-player RPG video game, right? Where it was a dev made and everything. Especially when we go up here, this is where our bedrooms are. And so all the stuff stored in these chests, they're communal chests, okay? Where anyone can grab anything. We help each other out here, you know, as a clan. And when you go up, now we have our private rooms. So looking around here, okay, we've got thralls on guard duty, and these are generally kind of like our personal thralls. Whenever we want to go out, we'll grab one of these thralls to follow us, and they're our buddies that help. They're there to back us up, and look, God breaker armor on them all, like, oh, good stuff. So I shall show you my room right here, and in our own rooms, this is where we store some of our own personal gear that's not for the rest of the clan. So if we close here, have a look at this. Isn't this awesome? It's just, oh, it's fun, you know, having your own kind of medieval environment. And so, of course, for me, I decorate my room with swords. And these are actually legendary swords, a lot of them. Some are even above legendary, like this. This is like, yeah, a very rare legendary weapon. It's the Annihilator. And then this one here, we got the Jedi's Great Saber. And look, it's funny, two-handed swords used to be my favourite weapon in this game. They've recently got nerfed, and so they're nowhere near as good as PvP, but I love the look of them. So now I decorate my room with two-handed swords, and for my character, well, she uses one-handed sword and shields with one of the best. Right, so you see this one-handed sword? Remember how it does 102 damage? So that's a one-handed sword, and if we look at this legendary two-handed sword, 60 damage. That is how tough this one-handed sword is. It's epic. So cool. This sword right here is my favorite sword in the game, just from a design aesthetic, you know, look. Like, it's beautiful. Beautiful design. Looks really cool. And it did good damage, but because the animations and the combat was nerfed on greatswords, I can't use it. So it's just has an honoured position on my wall, as all these other awesome greatswords does as well. And of course, banners, shields, trophies from animals that have been slain and things. It looks great, of course, you know, for personal dining, just a place to eat. But there are other rooms. I'll show you some of the other, you know, clanmates' rooms, because they have done a great job decorating. So this is Rollo. This is Rollo's room, and there is his character asleep where he should be. I'm looking at you, Oz, and I was like, look at what you can do. See this environment here? It just, again, it looks like a single-player RPG developer-made environment, and but you can make it yourself, and so you can make these awesome environments, and that's what I mean. People take pride in your base, make it. Because one, it's more efficient, especially when you're down here crafting, because you know where everything is, and you have a good, you know, workflow. And Oz, this is Oz's room. Oz, again, remember Oz? He's my editor here, and so look, great job on his room as well. You know, he got his trophies, nice fireplace, nice area to just sit and converse. So the three leaders of this clan, me, Oz, and Rollo, we've sat here and had a council, you know, so it's very cool. And then we have some other players as well who aren't as active as us, but, you know, these are their rooms here, well decorated, so, you know, because they're not as active and they're not part of the leadership. Someone's put a spider there. You know, the leaders get the big rooms, but these are kind of the other rooms, and they're well decorated. It looks good, you know. And then we also have some guest rooms, and so if you go up here, these are guest rooms, and it's really just to fill out a castle, okay? So there's kind of like a communal area for people to sit and chat and talk, and if you go in, just very lightly decorated areas for guests to have a place to sleep and so on. And you know, if we go around here, you know, simple decorations, but of course, if you go through here, this is access to one of the upper battlements, right? Now, unfortunately, there's no proper crenellations in Conan Exiles, but you do what you can with what you have. And of course, you see down there the barrier and everything, and there's Oz's uncompleted tower. So, but still, the walkway, you can't really see it. The walkway up to that tower is pretty good. And so up here, basically this is storage, so we'll put some barrels and some crates and everything to fill out this storage area. It's kind of here to be, it's available room to be used when we need it, so we haven't really done anything with it. And then if we go all the way up, we hit the top, the roof of this mighty keep. And it's just, we got a statue there, and our side towers here. Huge vantage, this massive castle. So last time I made a tour of one of my castles in Conan Exiles, I was raided fairly quickly afterwards because it does reveal the location of where I am. That's one of the barriers in raiding. You have to find out where they live, and the Conan map, it is pretty big, especially when you're walking around trying to search for a single base. And of course now everyone really knows where we are. Like right here, there's an invitation for everyone. So now we're really going to get hit. I reckon people might really try and come and raid us. But, it'll be fun, alright? We're very well established. And remember, forewarning, if you do try and hit us, we will retaliate. And we will retaliate aggressively. A couple of days ago, we actually retaliated pretty heavily against, a clan that attacked one of our outposts. And Soulless Meatsack, that's the guy I killed. I'll give you back your blood kind of tools that I took from you when I found you over encumbered. That was a bit rough of me, I admit. And so if you're watching this, come back, message me, and I'll give you your tools back, mate. We didn't mean to try and drive you off the server. It was just for a fun raid. But you did hit one of our outposts, sir. And that could not be stood for. That was his character's name, by the way, Soulless Meatsack. I do prefer a more roleplay friendly, even though this is not a roleplay server, I don't really prefer roleplay servers, but I do prefer roleplay friendly names. My character's name, if you're wondering, is the Exiled Knight, and the clan name is appropriately titled the Exiled Knights. So yes. So there we go, that's the tour of my current castle in Conan Exiles, and I don't think I've even mentioned the name yet, and we haven't officially named it, but we're kind of playing with, I think, Castle Voulkren, and there we go, so I think we'll stick with that. Castle Voulkren, right here, on Conan Exiles. I really like this one. I really love the time that we've taken to decorate the inside. It feels like home. It feels very immersive, and it's also intimidating and very defensible. It's a great base, and I've been having so much fun with this round on Conan Exiles. So like I said, come join me if you're interested. I'm not always on, of course, but I'm on fairly regularly enough, and who knows, we might either team up or we might fight and go to war. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you again. Until then, farewell.